Welcome to Over 50 Frank, the podcast that says the quiet parts out loud. I'm Shannon, known as Frank when I drop the filter. Around here, we talk about aging, menopause, wellness, and life after 50 with honesty, humor, and zero apologies. If you're over 50 and craving real talk, pull up a chair and send this to a friend too. Today, we're talking about something that a lot of women experience but don't really talk about openly, hair loss. I'm joined by my friend Sarah, who shares her personal journey after noticing thinning along her scalp and eventually being diagnosed with a condition known as LPP. We talk about the long road to getting to answers, treatments that didn't work, and the things that finally helped her see some improvement. If you've ever looked in the mirror and suddenly wondered why your hair suddenly feels thinner or what you can actually do about it, this episode is for you. Let's get into it. I have Sarah here. She is one of my favorite content creators. We know each other from the internet. I know a lot of people from the internet. And she's one of my favorite beauty and fashion folks to follow. She does this awesome lip of the day, car chronicles. She really knows how to create content. She's also struggled with something I've struggled with, which is hair loss. So thank you for coming here, and thank you for coming and talking and bringing awareness to it, because I feel nobody's talking about this because our moms, grandmas didn't talk about it. So we're just gonna kind of jump right in about your hair journey.
Let's do it. Yeah.
When did you first notice something was different about your hair?
So I work actually in the field in dermatology. And so I want to say it was like a year and a half ago, one of my girlfriends that works with me noticed, hey, I think you're losing hair in your frontal scalp. And I was like, no, it's fine. We're not worrying about it. And then the more and more I filmed, I'm seeing it more myself too. And I'm like, wow. And at that time I had a center part because we all went back to the center parts, right? And so I start seeing, we sure did. We got rid of the side. We went straight to center, no matter the age. So all of a sudden I start to see these splotches, and it's right in the center of my scalp and right in the front here. And looking back on photos now, it's really apparent. But at the time, I think I just thought, it's not happening to me. I see this every day on other people. I'm in these consultations all the time. And so I kind of brushed it off until it kind of hit a point where she's like, we need to do something about this. So we did an initial biopsy, and the biopsy was inconclusive. It said traction alopecia, which I know I pull my hair back all the time. I used to be a cheerleader dancer. I pulled my hair back in these slick, buns and ponytails for years. And I'm like, I don't pull my hair. So the recommendation at that time was to do topical minoxidil, oral if I wanted to. I chose not to. And then to do steroid injections for the scalp. And that was for a period of 6 months that we tried that. And we actually were doing progress photos going along the way, and it was getting worse. And so then I was like, okay, this is concerning. Kind of got brushed aside, no, just keep doing these injections, keep doing that topical, which I stopped that. I just didn't want to do it. I was thinking the injections were going to work. And then I knew we had a new physician coming, and he was a hair specialist, and everybody kept telling me, just wait till he gets here. He'll be able to look at your scalp and give you the right diagnosis. He should know. This was November of last year. Sat me down, did a full consultation, looked at my scalp, and knew right away, no, this is LPP, Lichen Planopilaris. It's a mouthful there. And there was my diagnosis, which is also genetic, which was very surprising to me. And there was no cause for it. It's kind of random. It happens as you get older. And I'm like, okay, why is this happening to me? Just out of nowhere, I'm having this. So he kind of explained it as it's there's a fire that's starting on your scalp, and sometimes you'll get these fire spots, and then all of a sudden the fire is put out, and it'll go in a dormant phase, and then see how it goes. So it was really you can treat this head on. But at that time in November, after doing all these series of injections, I was like, I think it's slowing down. And I started using this scalp serum, and this is where I think changed it. The Divi scalp serum I used in September of last year, and I actually went back and looked at photos, and it is dramatic, the improvement that this scalp serum has done for my scalp. And all of a sudden, this whole frontal scalp has filled in. And in the photos, you slowly see it filling in. So then I was like, okay, I didn't have to do all these drastic measures, and I just did the scalp serum. We stopped all injections, and here we are today.
And it's coming back because I saw like you were showing on Instagram, you kind of pulled it back and you kind of were showing where it was growing a little bit. I mean, that's the opposite of what we hear about people our age, because we hear like mine, I thought was GLP-1, and mine happened like 2 years after I started GLP-1, and they basically were saying menopause was, well, the doctor was saying GLP-1, and GLP-1 doctor was like, no, it would have happened like right away, like if it was GLP-1. And because I was doing all the things you're supposed to do when you take a GLP-1, which is vitamins and hair serums and different, I do the Abby Young method, which is a whole nother hair thing. I was still like kind of losing it like in here. It was really weird. So they just basically said it's either menopause or omeprazole, because I take omeprazole for reflux. I tried the Divi scalp.
Yes.
And I felt like where you like stamp it.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't tried that.
Oh, I thought it was the same thing.
No, so this is the scalp serum.
Okay, so I have a stamper, and it's then you put the Divi on.
Oh,
right?
Okay. So
no,
this,
so
this is a dropper full that you fill, and you put it on once a day. It smells like, not tea tree, but like a mint type smell. It almost feels soothing on the scalp to me. I love it. And then you drop it where you're having the thinning. So yeah, I dropped it all around here. I dropped it in my middle part because I had to go back to wearing a side part because I couldn't expose that. And then all of a sudden you see this tiny amounts of hair growth in those areas, and head on you can just see it's all filled in this front, whereas before it was completely like balding right in this spot here. So
okay, so this is what I do. I use that serum, but I use a stamper, like something that's like a microneedler that I got from another brand. So that's what I do. I use 2 serums, which they say really not to do that, but I feel like between those 2, it's kind of working. So I stamp at night before I go to bed gently, because you don't want to like rub it over your head, but you want to just kind of like activate it. And then I do mine a little differently. I realized when we started this conversation that I probably should have said like the 2 were separate. Oh. The stamper and the thin were separate. So the stamper was a thing that an esthetician told me to do. She said with any serum, you should gently stamp like with this microneedling thing. And I think that's from, I can't remember where I get it. So I gently stamp it, and then I put the serum on, and then I gently rub it in is what I do.
Same with me. I rub all into the scalp, and I make sure I get it all in my problem areas. And what is funny now that you say that is because I asked one of my coworkers yesterday who started using this scalp serum, and she's like, yeah, I'm not noticing much of a difference. And so I said, well, what is your routine? How do you do it? And she's like, oh, I just put it in and I go to bed. And I'm like, you don't massage it in the scalp? And she's like, no. I'm like, girl, you need to like work it in the scalp, massage it in. And she's like, oh boy, maybe I've been doing it wrong. I'm like, okay, switch your routine and then come back to me in 4 weeks, if that, because I started noticing a difference even after 2 weeks of me using it just in the front here, and going back on my photos, you really can see it, which is amazing. So,
well, did you change anything with the way you washed your hair?
I did start double cleansing because I read about, you double cleanse your face, because I've always done that, but never double shampoo. And so I did start doing that. I did switch a brand that I hadn't used. So then, yeah, you're right. I thought, but that was a biotin based shampoo. So I thought, wait a minute, biotin is good for your hair. So then I ruled out that, and I just went to over the counter shampoos and conditioners, which even my hairdresser said, they all are the same, just different names. The ingredients, like even with skincare, people use the same ingredients, just slap their name on it. Like, okay.
Yeah, we have a whole episode about that. So I used to buy the expensive shampoo. So I'm making sure I was taking the vitamins that you're supposed to take. Collagen. Collagen for some reason like really like makes my nails grow, but not so much my hair. So I started collagen, vitamins, all when I started a GLP-1. And then I did an extra hair vitamin, which I use Viviscal. I've always used those 3. And then when I started noticing the hair loss like last summer, I go through Mochi Health and they added oral minoxidil. Now, funny story about oral minoxidil, and you probably know this because you're not taking it. It makes your hair grow everywhere super fast, like no matter where it is.
Correct.
So I started noticing like my peach fuzz on my face was growing super fast. And I was in the car and I pulled the mirror down and I was like, oh my God, I have a mustache. Never have I ever had a mustache. And I was like, did this TikTok, like I'm 51 years old and now I have a mustache? It went viral on Threads. It was really weird. And then my friend was like, are you using oral minoxidil? And I was like, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Oral minoxidil. So that's probably why you're not using it.
Well, I'm such a baby. I can't say I'm sensitive to medication because normally I'm not, although probably they would say otherwise. I literally used it for, I think, 2 days, maybe 3, and I just didn't like the way I felt. Now, they say, oh, you're not going to be able to tell in just that little of time, but I did, and I was like, forget this, I'm not doing it. So I said, scrap that. We're going with the simple solution, and we're going to just ride this out.
I didn't notice anything. I've been on it for 4 months, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, why do I have a mustache? Like, yeah. I didn't, and then I went, like I said, I went on Threads and went, I'm 51 years old and have a mustache, help, is what I posted. And all these people were like, wax it, shave, or, you said, I went on TikTok.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if it was TikTok or Instagram where you're like, dermaplane it.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like oh my God, 2 days later, I'm like, it's the minoxidil. Like that's, and I feel like that's really helped my hair grow super fast and just kind of fill in places. But I've noticed like the peach fuzz is growing super fast, and just like now I have, instead of having a mustache on the left side, I have it all the way across to the point where my 13-year-old child is like, Mom, your mustache needs to be shaved.
Oh gosh.
So, yeah. When you first started losing your hair, I feel like you're the type that goes and talks about it. Is that what you did, or did you kind of keep it private? I remember seeing you talk about it, but I don't know if you talked it right away.
I think I mentioned it, and then I think I mentioned I had a biopsy. We're going to get to it. I'll update you on my hair journey, something like that, because it was noticeable. You could see it, and I literally talked to the camera every day. So it was kind of like, well, and I'm going to start wearing my hair totally different because you're going to notice this. So a lot of support, when you post those types of things, and then you get people who have the same experiences because you're talking about it. So then it was kind of like, okay, we need to continue this conversation, and then I'll update you on my journey. It may not be yours, but something that was helpful.
I mean, as content creators, I feel like I don't share everything, but I share like mostly everything.
Yeah.
And when talking to other people, some things they keep private and some things they don't keep private. And I feel like I didn't say really much about it until I noticed mine in August. And then my son has plasma infusions monthly, and he was home, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do a Get My Hair Mojo Back series today. I'm going to record them all today because I'm home, I have all the stuff, and I kind of did like a 5-part series on it. But then what happens from that, which probably happened to you, is brands start reaching out to you and wanting to send you things, and you kind of get overwhelmed with it. Like, I'm very clear, like I like what's working, and I really want to focus on what's working for me, but what's working for me is not always going to work for you. And I actually started doing the Abby Young hair method, which goes back to that whole like drugstore hair shampoo and double cleansing your hair. I was 50 years old when I learned I had to start double cleansing, that you should be double cleansing your hair all the time. And that's why it says rinse, lather, and repeat on the bottle.
Okay.
So how old are you, Sarah? If you don't mind saying.
Yeah, no, I'm 50 also. I turned 50 last October.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
but yeah, I wasn't doing double cleansing either. And then because of everything, you don't wash your hair every day, right? We wait 2-3 days. And so then, you have that build up. And so then I'm like, this makes sense, because sometimes you'd wash just one time and get out and you're blow drying and it feels like greasy still up top. And I'm like, okay, let's try this double cleansing to see. And that really helps with that also. And then you start fresh and you're good for another 4 days.
Well, so the Abby Young hair method is drugstore shampoos, different shampoos for different wash days, a lot of conditioning, and a lot of product and heat protectant. That's like the best way I describe it. I have baby fine hair, so product will weigh my hair down, but then she also has like recommendations for like baby fine hair, like what you should do for baby fine, what you should do for just like thin hair.
Yeah.
So one of the best things I did was switch to Pantene and OGX products. And my daughter was just kind of like, Mom, why do we have 3 shampoos in the shower? Because she likes my shower because I have the good stuff. So she showers in mine. And she's like, why are there now 3 shampoos? So then I'm telling her, like, this one's for deep cleansing once a week. This one's for bond repair. This, I think I only really have 2 shampoos. Then I have 3 conditioners in there. Like one's a gloss, you do that once a week. And then there's like one for deep conditioning. And then there's one for everyday conditioning. And then I was telling her about leave-in conditioners, and she has really, really short hair, like really, like she keeps it short, and she's just like, how do I use the conditioner on my really short hair? And I'm like, mid to end.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until my 40s. I was literally like putting conditioner all over my head. So I'm like, here's your 13-year-old advice that you didn't ask for. Like, double cleanse your hair. Make sure like, she really doesn't need conditioner. My husband doesn't either, but they both like, I don't know. But anyways, like I am like teaching you have boys, don't you? So I'm teaching I have one of each, and I'm teaching my daughter and my son kind of too, because he has gorgeous brown wavy hair. Don't know where he gets it from.
Yeah.
It's longer. It's like almost longer than mine right now, and it's just like wavy, and I'm like, you need to do this, you need to do this. So I'm just trying to teach them young that you double cleanse, how to condition your hair, deep conditioning. So ever since I did that whole method, which is different for everybody, I've noticed a change in my hair too. Like definitely don't have to wash it as much. And
it definitely looks more fuller for you. I can tell.
Well, okay. So have you seen the Bloom where you go and you crimp it underneath? That's what I've done.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. To give the volume from under. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's what I've done. And then I just know that like I can't have long luscious hair like you. The hairstyle doesn't look good on me. Anyways, it's like a mess now that I messed with it. Do you use any supplements?
So actually, now that you mentioned that, yes, I did start taking a hair and nail gummy vitamin. And actually, I just ran out yesterday of it. And that was just my husband happened to bring home a bunch of vitamins one time. The hair and nail one was there. And I'm like, okay, we're going to start adding this in too. So that may have helped also. I'm not good about, I probably need to do a multivitamin. I don't do one now unless I take my kids, which it's probably not the right dose for me, but they make those kids gummies taste like candy. And so it's like, okay, let's just have one of these today.
Well, okay. So if you're looking for a good, inexpensive hair, my recommendation to people is Viviscal. You can get it on Amazon. You can auto ship it. It's pretty inexpensive. How I discovered them was I did UGC for them, and I had like 6 months supply, and I've rebought since then.
Wow.
The other thing I like is Grüns Daily.
Yes.
It's a little packet of gummies.
Yeah, those are good.
They're really good. There's also a nighttime fiber gummy that Moon Brew makes. I don't have them with me. Usually I have all that stuff here at the office, but it's that one I switched to that. I still sometimes take the Grüns, but that one has like fiber in it, I believe. And I know for sure that it has the things that are supposed to help you sleep, like L-theanine and the right magnesiums. Because if you take the wrong magnesium for sleep, your stomach doesn't like it. Like, that's all I'll say. That's all I won't go any further.
That's a whole nother subject, is gut health issues, right?
Well, I mean, sleep is a big one that people, I'm going to get on my high horse about this, but I've talked about sleep on my Instagram, and I've had people reach out to me like, what have you done to help you not wake up by 4 o'clock in the morning? And I still wake up maybe like one day a week at 4 o'clock in the morning and can't go back to sleep, and it's anxiety. However, I know this from my son, like he was having issues sleeping, and so he started taking magnesium, and then he did that for a month, and then they have you add another one in after that. So he started taking magnesium glycinate, and then a month later he started taking L-theanine. And then they started him on low dose, like supplemental lithium, which if you take it in high doses, it really helps you sleep. It's a supplement. So you get it at Full Scripts or someplace like that. So somebody reached out to me and they said they were asking my DMs about sleep. And I was like, but here's the thing, like you have to take one for like a month, and then you have to add the next one in. So about 2 weeks later, they reached out to me and told me that my information that I gave them was crap because it wasn't working for them, and they had to start taking something prescription. And my whole thing was, you have to be consistent with it for like a month and then add another thing in.
Yeah.
You can't do it like both at the same time because you want to know like if it's actually working. And
exactly.
It worked. And my son would tell you, because he takes things for OCD and he takes things for brain health, that they work. And then if you stop taking them, they don't work. So with supplements, We have a whole other podcast coming up about that, of like how like supplements are helpful if you remember to take them. And I think that's why my nails are growing like crazy, because collagen's in my coffee every day. Let's wrap this up and get into the lightning round. If you notice shedding, check your blank first.
Brush.
There you go. I like that.
Definitely check your brush.
Hair loss has taught me blank about myself.
It's just a moment in time, and it'll turn around and things will start filling in for you.
The one thing I do different in my hair loss journey would be,
once something works, stick with it because you're seeing results, and why give up now?
All right. Thank you, Sarah, so much for joining us and sharing your journey. I have links to follow Sarah in the show notes and her journey. She's an amazing content creator. I feel like there's so many other things we could talk about, so definitely going to have you back. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for listening to Over 50 and Frank. If today's conversation resonated with you, I'd love it if you'd follow the show, leave a review, or share this episode with a friend who needs to hear it. You can find links, resources, and everything we talked about in the show notes. I'm Shannon, and I'll be back next week with more candid conversations about style, wellness, and life after 50.